gone from Edgar to Harry. Who's next?
Well, I did have Lilith and Salazar, but they're on my back porch dead. So Edgar. By the way, guys, we're talking about plants here. Okay.
Probably clarify that you're not some serial killer.
We're talking about plants. So no, Edgar, I left him on the back porch one day.
Oh no.
And I was like, yeah, he needs to get some light. He's struggling a little bit, and this isn't, for some reason, I didn't comprehend taking him to work for some reason. Because that's where all my other plants lived. It's like, what? But I left him on the back porch, and I forgot about him for 2 weeks, and I went back out there, and he was just shriveled up and dead, and I went, Edgar!
It's like, Father,
My English Ivy!
help me, Dad.
No! But yeah, no, I literally don't have the space in this place for plants except this snake
Well,
plant.
you also don't have the cats in this place for plants.
I have the cats, but the problem is that I have cats.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Lotta would fucking eat a plant. Doesn't matter what it is. It's like, oh, cactus.
yeah.
$5,000 vet bill, but later.
So would Hephaestus probably out of...
Speaking of cats, they're making noises that they probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, so I need a water Harry over here. What the hell? I should silent my phone. I don't need to talk to you, Connecticut girl. You're just going to complain about how your dating life sucks. I don't need to hear about that right now.
Because my dating life sucks.
Exactly.
Me looking at the other very single man in the room. Hi, Mitchell. How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good.
Matthew, you shut the fuck up.
You get out of here, son.
Hey, we're not dating.
Motherfucker, do you think I care?
No, I know.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Anyway. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and take this moment to notify everyone. Hey, y'all. So this is, Philip and Mitchell from Lorecast Eternals. Unfortunately, Circe couldn't make it for this episode. He's going through some family stuff at the moment. Instead, we brought along Chucklefuck Matthew over here.
Hello.
You may remember him from a couple episodes ago.
Last episode.
Last episode. God,
Last
it's been a
episode
minute.
was his first one.
Yeah.
Because I got bored. I was like, how about we just invite this man?
Exactly.
And then I was like, you know what?
We're inviting the man.
We have 4 audio tracks.
We just need to remember to bring all 4 microphones.
Rip Jason.
So, by the way, Matthew, you're now Jason.
Oh, okay. Is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
You know why Jason never You know why Jason never came back on an episode?
Do you dislike how much we cussed?
No, he thought that we hated him.
What?
It was like, again, one of my other best friends, Jason, who lives now in Utah, so that's the big reason why he's also never on the episodes anymore. He was on one episode, and it was like, yeah, it's going to be a little rough for you. It's fine. It's okay. But that man has really bad self-confidence issues.
Gotcha.
And he was just like, yeah, y'all hated me. And then he always thought I was really angry at him, but not realizing I was just angry at life with my job.
I feel that.
Mitchell was a very, very angry man at that point in
I
time.
think everyone who listens to these
My
episodes
job-
can relate to that.
My job sucked. And so I came home and I just went straight to a nap. And Jason could not comprehend why I did that. Just like got up, went straight up to my room, took a nap for 2 hours, came back down. I was like, hey, want to watch some hockey? He always thought I was super angry at him. And I was like, sometimes there was some merit to him, to that, mainly because his diet was absolute hot garbage. And I could smell it.
Curry Lane.
Very close to Route 15.
No.
But he was a good guy. I still talk to him quite frequently.
What he doesn't know is that post-work nap is critical to the functionality of my brain for the entire day.
Exactly.
Okay, Matthew, you take that too far though, because you'll get home and you'll be like, "I'll take a 30-minute nap," and then we don't hear from you for 4 hours, and it's like, "Hey guys, I'm up and I'm ready to go." It's like, dude, we're doing something fucking else. We waited an hour for your ass and you still didn't get up. We called you, we texted you, you fucking died. We were like, cool, he's dead. Moving on with our lives.
Yeah, it's either going post-work brewery or post-work nap. There is
There is no in between.
exactly. And I only go to work once a week. in the office, and that's the brewery day.
My office is my truck.
Wow.
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of miss those days working at the county, where it's just you'd show up, you'd hop in your truck, and then you just hang out in your truck for 8 hours. It's like, hey Scott, I'm gonna go get lunch. Okay, where are you going? I don't fucking know. Somewhere downtown. All right. Well, remember, you've technically only got 30 minutes from the time you leave the driveway to the time you get back, and it's like, yeah, okay. So then I roll up an hour later, and he's like, okay.
So
Yeah, on our slow days at the county, we didn't do fucking anything.
Yeah,
so basically, I'd double check with Scott, and I'd be like, hey, what do we need to get done today? And he'd be like, do maintenance on your saws. Okay. 30 minutes later, hey, Scott, what do we need to do today? Don't be a nuisance. Understood.
Understood. Got it. Roger.
Time to go watch YouTube on my phone.
Dude, the amount of times the days I worked at the county and I'm just stuck in the office, it was way worse because I had the county engineer constantly behind me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I told you this story, but I never told you this story.
Oh, no.
Oh my god! So
I think I know where this is going.
I like Reddit, okay, and I get my world news from Reddit.
Right.
But there's one particular subreddit I get it from because that is the most unbiased subreddit when it comes to world news. It's called Anime Titties. So I'm sitting there, I'm at work, and I'm scrolling through the subreddit Anime Titties because that's where you get your world news from. And it's legit.
Would you like to know what r/world news is filled with?
I'm assuming copious amounts of pornography.
Anime titties.
Yeah, tracks.
Actually, it's typically world news, but there's no moderators for that sub, so you have a lot of wogs and everything that goes on in that subreddit. So
Dude, I miss being part of the Reddit communities that would, especially in the Warhammer communities, because dude, yeah, no, they would wog out hard. It'd be like, oh hey, imaginary Warhammer. Hey, we're starting a wog. We're gonna go fuck up r/Grimdank. r/Grimdank. Oh shit, here they come, boys. It was so funny.
I'm sitting there and I'm working, and I had a tab open. I had two tabs open. One was Anime Titties, and another was actual work. And he came up behind me, and he didn't say a word. He just looked at my screen and went, "Huh," and then walked away. And
Understandable. Have a great day.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of a weird interaction. I look at my tab, I was like, oh no! He thinks I'm a weirdo! Which, correct, but
How could this happen to me?
it's not what it looks like.
Oh man.
So
See, that's what I love about working in the medical industry, dude. So, off the record, I've had so many fucked up conversations with my instructors. We have such black senses of humor, and it's really funny because I was sitting in the office one day, and it's in the office, and I was the only student there, and I'm there all the fucking time. And I'm not going to say exactly what was said, but one of the instructors, while I'm standing right there next to him, says something really off color. And one of the other instructors turns, looks at me, and goes, oh, like you could just see him dying inside. Because he's trying not to laugh, right? Because it's fucking funny. But he's like, he did not just say that in front of a student. And he turns and looks at the other instructor and goes, there's a student here. And he turns and looks at me and goes, oh, hey, Phil, you don't give a shit, right? As I'm sitting there fucking dying laughing. And I'm just like, I don't even remember what was said as I go back to the, not being able to breathe.
yeah. Okay.
I 100% remember what was said. If you would like to know later, please ask. It was funny as fuck. But I am not going to repeat that.
I am out for the funnies.
What else do we got for a ramble? Should we explain who Matthew is?
Or
do we want to do that for the actual episode?
Yeah, we'll save that for the actual episode.
Got it.
As far as everyone right now is concerned, Matthew is less than human and does not deserve your respect.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
It totally has nothing to do with the fact that he has a friend who is a girl who he gets to, associate with while Mitchell and I do not. Mitchell, care to comment? A singular tear for our fallen comrades.
That is my comment. Well, I can't say much because since moving to Austin, my dating life has been a lot better.
Yeah, but like
comparatively,
what's your second dating life looking like?
I've been on 2.
Well, that's better than you got in College Station.
Exactly. Exactly. Though I never got stood up in College Station.
There's some kind of country joke in there. I know there is. You just got to give me a second to find it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
We'll circle back around to this.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah.
Ooh, or maybe it's an Aggie joke. It might be an Aggie joke. Hang on. I'm thinking about that. But anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Dude, okay, no. Time out. I saw an Aggie in Waco, in Fuego, and I was like, holy shit, what is this?
Oh, no.
Like Vietnam flashbacks for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. So for those who don't know, there is a... like literally across the street from A&M campus, on the north side of campus, there is a Fuego taco restaurant, and that's where Mitchell and I used to go all the time after.
There's
getting
only
off of
3
work.
in the state. There's only 3 in the state, which is...
Is there really?
Yeah, it's only in College Station, Waco, and San Marcos.
Yeah.
Those are the only 3.
Okay, San Marcos makes sense. I don't get the other 2. I'm gonna be honest.
I know.
Like Austin,
But
and DFW
the original
makes so
one,
much more sense.
the original one is College Station. That is the original Fuego.
Okay, that makes sense.
But me and Philip would go there all the damn time, especially like 2:00 in the morning.
Well, yeah, they were open 24/6
with other coworkers, and you watch all the drunk people walk in because all the bars just closed. It was a wild time at Fuego at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah, it's not quite as good as 4 a.m. Waffle House, but it's pretty good.
It's still pretty therapeutic.
Yeah. Oh
so,
man, and then I remember I'd order 3 fucking tacos and fucking die. No, so they'd make the tortillas, right? Soft shell tortillas.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
Yeah.
pretty good size.
No, they're
Yeah.
not that big.
But then they
Yeah.
pile it like this.
Yeah,
high.
no, then they fucking mound them like
Yeah.
high as Mount Vesuvius, I swear, and it's like, Jesus.
Yeah. God, I
You
miss
see, but at least at Waffle House, while you're sitting there eating a chocolate chip waffle, that you're questioning your life. Why am I here at 3 a.m? You can also watch a fight in the parking lot. So there's that.
Actually, typically at 3:00 in the morning, Philip and I just start debating what is good and what is bad, and like the morality of what is bad is not really something that you can define, because what is bad and what is good is really dependent upon the culture that you grew up in.
And then at 4 a.m. we go get Waffle House.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, no, that's
at that
how it should be done.
Because at that point, he and I are having such existential crises. We're like, yeah, fuck this. We need waffles.
No, because oh my god, that was such an awful morning at 2:00 in the morning.
Okay. No, it was 4. It was 4 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
No, okay. No. I get to tell this story. Because I was the one most fucked up during it.
Oh god. I don't know. I was in extreme pain.
So
You were in emotional pain. I was literally in physical pain.
we were going down to Houston to visit our friend Wes, and it was me, Mitchell, and Jacob. We were all traveling together, and we get down to Wes's place, and I forget what the miscommunication had been, but there ended up being not enough beds for everybody.
That's just Wes's place in general.
Oh yeah, you're right. Anyway, so Jacob and Mitchell were having to sleep on the floor, and I was on the couch. The reason I got the couch was because at this point in time, I'd been awake for something like 36 hours straight, and I'd only slept a total of like 6 hours in the past 4 days.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I was basically sleeping in 45-minute to 2-hour intervals, and then I was staying awake for 20-plus hours. My body was just on a super whacked out sleep schedule. I felt fine, but yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. I can definitely fucking imagine.
So I'm laying on the couch, and I've got my earbuds in, and I'm trying to sleep, but I am not succeeding. And this entire time, there's just this, like, lumber mill going on in the background, right?
Constant vibration.
Yeah. And
So-
I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so finally around 3 o'clock in the morning, Mitchell comes downstairs and goes, I can't sleep. And I'm like, why? What's up? Like, what's that noise? And he's like, that's Jacob snoring.
Well, it's not only that. I at this period of time, I had put that bad boy on silence.
Oh yeah, it's just James. I don't need to hear that.
I had extreme contact dermatitis on my armpits.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, this was during that. Yeah.
And I just sat there in like extreme pain. Just I'm not only dealing with that pain trying to sleep, I'm also dealing with the vibrations of a goddamn foghorn in that room. It was
bad.
Do you understand how bad Circe actually
Yes.
snores?
Yes.
Okay. Because they stayed at my place one night while we're doing the podcast, and Philip went into the actual, I had this exact same room set up in my old apartment.
Right.
And slept on the floor there instead of the couch because of the extreme, just like how loud Circe's snore is. And he still could barely sleep because he felt the vibrations on the floor.
Oh my god.
And you're just like, my guy, seek help, please. It's not good.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mitchell comes downstairs. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and Mitchell's like, I cannot sleep. And I'm like, well, I haven't slept like forever, so fuck it, we're up. What do we want to do? And we're both like, we don't want to be in this house right now. And I'm like, well, it's close enough to morning, and we passed a Waffle House on the way in. You want to go get Waffle House? And then Mitchell's like, yeah, fuck it, let's go get Waffle House. So yeah, that was how we ended up going to Waffle House at 3:30 in the morning. And it was really funny too, because we go to Waffle House, we eat, we drink, we talk, we have a grand old time, and the only other guys in there are these old ass white dudes,
Who are awake.
because we're working in oil territory. And, literally we are being overshadowed by oil refineries. So these are all the project foremans who have worked on these refineries for the past 40 years. These are the guys who show up at 5 o'clock in the morning when they don't have to show up till 7, and then sit in their office and drink coffee and will learn more about fluid dynamics and chemical engineering than any 4-year college degree will ever teach you. And they have maybe an associate's degree. That's the kind of guys we're talking about here. And so Mitchell and I are just sitting around God damn, we're in rarefied air over here. We're going to shut up and sit in our corner and drink our coffee. And so
We did not do that, by the way. We talked about the philosophical debate. That is what is good and bad.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then we ate waffles and God, Waffle House still has some of the best eggs I've ever had.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sat there. So then around, what was it, 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Around 5, we're both like, okay, we'll go ahead and head on back. So we head on back. Circe at this point has started to slow down on the lumber mill. And Circe finally wakes up. And he's like, hey, y'all want to get breakfast? Mitchell and I are like, no, we already got breakfast. And he's like, what? And Mitchell and I were like, yeah, we couldn't sleep. So we went to Waffle House. When did you do this? 4 o'clock in the morning. What? He's like, why didn't you wake me up and bring me? And we were like, because you're the reason we went.
And that's why if you ever bring up Waffle House.
4 a.m. Waffle House.
4 a.m. Waffle House in front of Circe, he will forever be pissed about it.
Yeah.
He feels so betrayed.
Oh, yeah, no, he was like, how fucking dare y'all get Waffle House without me? And we were like, fuck you, dude. Neither of us could sleep. And so, yeah, I think it was the next week I finally went to sleep. And yeah, I slept for 14 hours straight. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I fucking died.
Oh,
man. That's still not the longest I've ever been asleep though. Fucking, oh my God. No, Daruma. The Daruma coma where Circe and I both slept for 15 hours straight.
Jesus.
15, 16 hours straight. That was, I don't know how the fuck that happened, but anyway.
I think the longest I've slept was when I was working in, don't want to use hometown names. So I'm just going to say mine and Circe's
in
hometown.
Your hometown.
Yeah, in my hometown. I used to work at the prison there. I worked there for about a year. By the way, if you're thinking about working in the prison, just don't do it. They had this lovely little thing that doesn't actually exist called Mandatory Mondays. Mm-hmm. Your first day back, you had to work a 16-hour shift because they only had 16s and they had 12s, and 9 times out of 10 you were working a 16-hour shift. My first week out of training, I worked 6 days in a row, 6 16-hour shifts. So finally, on my day off, I went to Taco Bell because I was like, I want some food. It's fast. It's cheap. I got 2 boxes because I was going to eat one now and then have the other one after I woke up. Mm-hmm. Proceeded to eat both. Went to sleep Sunday at like 10, 11 a.m. Woke up at 12, 1 p.m. the next day. Yeah. The people I was living with, they're like, "Oh, you're alive?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what do you mean I'm alive? Like, I've been asleep for like 8 hours. Like, no, you've been asleep for like 24, my guy. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yep. That was like the day after we had a football match while we were bus drivers.
Oh my god!
Because I always worked the crazy long shifts.
Yeah.
And so I'd get off a football game, and once I finally stopped tweaking on Monster or Red Bull.
No, it was nothing but Red Bull.
Yeah, that's right. It was.
You would literally buy the cans, then empty the cans into the water bottle. 32-ounce water bottle.
I still have that Nalgene, by the way. I have a 32-ounce Nalgene that I kept on like. It's something like 36 feet of paracord that I've got all tied up together. So it's one big loop. It looks like it's about 6 feet, but it's actually like triple that. So I guess it's 18 feet of paracord. But what I would do is, because I would always pick the shifts where basically I was working. So I was guaranteed to work basically 12 hours. And usually I'd be awake for more like 16 hours around that time. Basically, it was 16 hours I was at work in one capacity or another, and about 12 hours of it I was actually working.
Right.
So, but all of our football games were usually in the afternoon. So usually I'd wake up at like, 10 in the morning, and then I'd show up to work at 2 in the afternoon. Or no, I'd wake up at 10, show up at about 2 in the afternoon. We'd receive our debrief for what was going on for the day. Mm-hmm. We'd hit the road at about 4. Kickoff was at 6-ish. That's often how it worked out.
Right.
So then starting at 4, I was then expecting to be there till about 2 in the morning.
Jesus.
And with about an hour break in the middle. Constantly driving. And so, yeah, what I would do is I would take 2 24-ounce cans of Red Bull, crack them, dump them into my 36-ounce Nalgene. Whatever I didn't fit into there was my drink going into work. And then I'd sip on that Nalgene for the entire rest of the day. Then at halftime, thank you. At halftime, whenever I would get off to go get lunch or dinner or whatever it was, depending on the kickoff.
Freebirds?
Yeah, go to Freebirds.
Hey,
and at Freebirds, get another Red Bull, get another 12-ounce Red Bull, refill my Nalgene, and yeah, like that was what I ran on for that day.
Jesus Christ. How close were you to actually growing fucking wings?
Pretty close some days. Fucking close. And then usually I'd get off, and the reason the route I drove ran so long is because I was the shuttle for the employees at the stadium after they were done cleaning up for the day. So I ran really late.
Yeah, that tracks.
So then I'd get off of that route, and then I'd go hang out with the employees, because there was a group of employees that would hold a I'm going to call it a bonfire. It was a get together.
Yeah.
And they'd often bring food and whatnot at the end of the shift. And so I'd drive around, and they'd usually be on one of the earlier rounds. So I'd be driving around in circles for like 2 hours just watching these guys, and they'd be like, "Hey," and I'd be like, "Hey, y'all gonna be here in 2 hours?" They'd be like, "You fucking know it." And then I'd go over and I'd hang out with them for like 30 minutes to an hour. And yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. It was what was it? It was they had a nickname for themselves. Choir practice.
Oh yes.
I don't know why. I forget why they call it that. I think they worked together in like a movie theater or a theater venue at some point. But yeah, they called themselves choir practice. But that was usually my my routes for the day. And then I'd get paid because I was working overtime. So I'd always work. Oh, and the other big thing, I'd work 40 hours. This all of the week before the football game. So I get paid OT the entire time I was driving. And then they had incentives where if you showed up early, you got paid for like an extra hour of work. If you showed up early from halftime, you get paid an extra hour of work that you didn't actually work.
At least they're compensating you relatively well.
Yeah, and at the time,
if you actually
I was getting
worked during halftime, you get paid time and a half during halftime.
Yeah, and so basically by the end of it, I was accruing.
It's the Red Wings game.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, Mitchell just pulled out his phone and like threw up something on his phone, and I was like, "What's that?"
What
But
that?
no, so yeah, by the end of it, I was into. So at the time, I was making like 15 an hour, standard.
Yeah.
So I was getting paid at about $22 an hour, and then I was getting paid for like 14 hours of work, 16 hours of work. I'd pull down over $200 in a single day.
Well, as a college student,
Yeah.
superb.
Oh yeah, and that was after taxes. That's 200 plus after taxes.
Pretty
I
nice.
was highballing.
Yeah,
What's the old phrase? I was living in high cotton for a while there, or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was great, and so yeah, Fuego was definitely on me the next week.
No dollar menu for you guys, I take it.
Oh fuck no. See, the issue is that what they don't know about bus drivers, what most people don't know about bus drivers, we're also raging alcoholics. So then we go to for our standard shifts.
Oh my
if we
god! I
all
just
worked
made that
evening shifts-
correlation. When I became a dispatcher, I started drinking a lot less. Yeah, I started driving a lot less.
Yeah, exactly. So no,
It totally wasn't almost giving myself hypoglycemia
Oh, jeez.
from over drinking on.
yeah, at the age of like 22, Mitchell's doctor was like, "Bro, you got to stop drinking. Your liver's shutting down."
Bruh. I'm not sure if that's a bad thing or if that's actually impressive.
Oh no, impressive was when who was it? Was it Katie who managed to get her blood alcohol to 0.22?
Oh my god! She took what?
No, what was her graduation year? 0.20?
It was either 19 or 20, but I think it was 0.2 or 0.19.
I think it was 0.19. I think that's right.
But she did 19 straight shots of tequila for her ring dunk.
Yeah, so do you know what a ring dunk is?
I can't
so
say I do
it's
know.
it's a really stupid Aggie tradition, hence why it's an Aggie tradition. Bro, she almost killed herself. Tell me that's not stupid.
First, let's really put this in perspective. It's typically just 3 cans of beer that you chug, that you decarbonate throughout a period of 2 days. This girl took it upon herself to be hella extra and just like, I'm going to do 19 straight shots of tequila.
Okay, so the big point here is what you would do traditionally is you'd buy a pitcher of beer, you take your Aggie ring, you dump it in the pitcher of beer, and then you would chug the entire pitcher and catch the ring in your teeth.
By the way, I won my ring dunk. We had like 5 people up there. I chugged my beer the fastest. I don't know what that says about me.
So you want to know the really funny thing about that Aggie tradition? Emphasis on the air quotes here for those who can't see me. I told my mother about that, and she was like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." And I was like, "Wait, so that wasn't a thing back in your day?" And she was like, "I have never heard of that before in my life." And I was like, "Ha! Some tradition."
I think your mom was a 2%er though.
Yeah, but like I see that as a badge of honor from Aggie Land. It's a fucking cult. So like, you know,
Every college is a cult.
That's not inaccurate.
have you met Aggies? Oh no,
Have
wait,
you-
you're indoctrinated. You don't count.
Have you met
Your
people?
opinion doesn't count.
Have you met people from UT? They're just as bad.
That's fair. That's fair. No, one of my
People
favorite-
from Texas Tech, just as bad.
Okay, no. People from Texas Tech, that's a different fucking breed. They're just bad shit.
Just as bad.
As someone who went to Texas Tech for 2 semesters, them people are just fucking bad shit. They got that Raider rash. Like, we don't talk about them. Like, you talk shit about an Aggie, they'll key your car. Or, like, do some engineering marvel that inconveniences you. No, you talk shit about Red Raiders, and, like, they'll fucking bomb your house. Dude, when they win their games, they fucking riot in the city. That's when they win their football games. You don't want to know what happens when they lose. I was there for one. It was not good.
Or did they draw and quarter the referee?
Might as
Yeah,
well.
something like that.
Oh,
Might as
Jesus.
well.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god. So the Texas Tech has a hockey team, okay?
That's fucking news to me.
And they had their special jerseys, which is just they had tortilla jerseys, which did patterns of tortillas.
Yes,
And it
yes,
just-
the tortilla.
But the jersey looked so ugly because it just looked like it was the skin of a 90-year-old man. It was like,
Yeah, that sounds like Red Raiders.
like
What the fuck?
Oh, God, I love Texas Tech so much.
so bad.
I love Texas Tech so
Here,
much. Oh man.
I got it.
But no, yeah, so this girl, circling back around, this girl, for her ring dunk, instead of using beer, which
Right.
again, you're supposed to use like 3-4 cans of beer, right? Which you chug them, okay, you're gonna be a little drunk, but like,
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of extra water in there with the alcohol and beer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she did straight tequila for hers, 19 shots, and then she was also drinking throughout the night as well. Had to go to the ER and get her stomach pumped. They pulled her BAC and it was 0.19.
How was she alive?
Yeah, why do you think they had to pump her stomach? Yeah, and she was like, woohoo, 0.19, yeah, it's great, this is a great memory. And Mitchell and I are sitting over here in the corner like, you're fucking batshit, woman. How the fuck are you still alive?
Oh, I'm sorry. It just looks like diarrhea splattered toilet roll.
Oh, God, yeah, that is not, it looks like used toilet paper, man.
What the Kentucky Fried Fuck am I looking at here? Why is it so ugly?
Oh, it is so bad. That is such a Texas Tech thing to
That
do.
is such a bad jersey.
Oh,
I would
God.
buy it though, but it's so bad.
Yeah, it's so.
I hate it.
It's like like this off-white color with brown splotches on it. It looks so bad.
God. Ooh.
As charming as it was, that makes the Salamander's original color scheme actually look good.
Yeah, seriously. But no, yeah. So circling back even further though, so we a lot of us would get off work on like Wednesday nights,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday nights, and we'd go to this bar called O'Bannon's, and we would fucking drink. So we'd get off at like midnight, and it was literally a race to see who could get to O'Bannon's first.
Alrighty then.
He's getting his mug. You'll
Oh.
see what I mean by that in a
Oh
second.
no.
So the big thing about O'Bannon's, the big draw was they had what they called their beer card, and it was 75 beers because they had a bunch on tap and a bunch in bottles and things like that.
Right.
So if you drank 75 different beers from them, they'd stamp your card.
I earned that.
Yeah, and you'd get a mug.
It took me 3 years.
3 years of it in Azkaban.
This is actually a pretty nice mug. I'm gonna keep it $1.50.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go this way.
Nice.
And each one is unique, by the way, for each year.
Huh.
Well, no, they have generations. So they will order. I'll explain this when I get to my chair.
Oh, I dinged your desk a little bit. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Okay. So they order their mugs like this, and they order a specific design, and then when they run out, that is that generation.
Right.
And then they move on. It will take 4 or 5 years in order to get like rid of all these mugs, and it's not because they ordered a lot. It's because people just don't finish the challenge.
Yeah. And you can do the challenge as many times as you want, keep in mind. But here's the big thing. This is an Irish pub. So normally,
Jesus.
yeah.
Sorry.
Normally, when you buy a pint of Guinness, it was what, $6-8?
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, if you brought back your mug, your O'Bannon's mug, you could get, those are imperial pints. Those are 1.6 pints.
Right.
U.S. standard. You could get 1.6 pints of Guinness for like half price.
So like
Constantly.
$3 or $4.
Yeah, I think it was actually like $2.
No, it was like $4.
Oh, yeah.
I think their Guinness was 8.
That's right. It was 4 and 8.
It's a college town.
Yeah, that's right.
What the
But
fuck?
yeah, you could literally get basically a pint and a half.
There's a
for
reason
$4.
why we went on Wednesdays. It was half price draft.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
so we go. So it started off. We'd go on Tuesday nights, which was half price teas, because they also had liquor, and it was half price teas. And we were like, yeah, we love the teas. And then we found out about the challenge, and we were like, ooh.
no.
Yeah.
So then we swapped to Wednesday, and so for half price draft night.
Right.
And we were like, yeah, this is great. And then we ran out of draft beer to drink, and we were like, okay, cool, we're coming back on Thursdays now, because Thursdays was half price cans. And so then we came back on Thursdays. We were like, all right, we're drinking on Thursdays now. And so literally, as all of us were working through the card, we just changed the day of the week we came to get all the half-price shit because we were broke-ass college students.
What the fuck?
And what we figured out was that, so they would like check your card every time and match it to your ID. A, so you couldn't cheat, and B, so that they knew how much they were serving you. Because there's some dumbass out there who's like, I'm going to drink 75 beers in one night. I'm going to fucking do it.
No.
So you were limited to 2 beers per night. But they didn't carry the lists over between shift change. Shift change occurred at what was it, about 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 or 9 at night. So we'd show up at 6 in the evening, drink our first 2 beers, wait for shift change, then go back and get our next 2 beers, and then we'd polish off the night with whatever, like, liquor or Long Island iced tea or whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And, yeah, no, it was...
There's a lot of drunken bus rides home.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of drinking. And then Mitchell moved into a place that was, like, 6 blocks away.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, we just walked there. We were like, parking's too hard. We're just walking.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were quite a few nights where I walked back and I was like, I don't fucking know how I'm walking straight. Yeah, there were quite a few nights where Mitchell was like, Phil, you can't walk on the road. And I was like, I'm not on the road. Oh, shit. I'd be like halfway into the fucking lane and Mitchell's like, bro, get on the sidewalk. And I'm like, what? Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I pay my taxes. I'm going to use the road to walk in it too.
I'd sit there and I had the exact same amount of drinks as Philip, and I'm just like, I'm fully coherent. I scared, I think, a fair amount of my...
see, you would match me drink for drink in beer, but then I'd go get liquor in between the beer. That's what the issue was.
Fair point.
Because I'd go get like a double of bourbon or something and be like, all right, cool, back to beer. And Mitchell's sitting over here. Yeah, Mitchell's like 4 beers in after like 3 hours. You know, he's fine. And I'm sitting here 4 beers in after 3 hours. And I'm fucked up because at this point I've also had 3 shots of liquor to go with that. And I am pounding water like you wouldn't believe as well. So I'm going to the bathroom like every 30 minutes.
I love O'Bannon's.
Oh, it was so much fun. I couldn't do that shit again. I barely drink nowadays. Like 1 beer and I'm like, ooh, this is pretty good.
Me drinking 3 pints tonight.
This is my pint now.
Can you do me a favor? Go grab me another one.
Actually, if those are up for grabs, I would love to have one.
There's one more. Ooh. But these are really good because these are brewed in England.
You sold me at free and cold, Mitchell. I know you didn't say cold, but I assumed it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said the magic words. Free and beer and cold.
I often forget I have this bug. Just throw them on the floor.
In case you guys can't tell, this is in fact the Ramble episode before the actual episode. So like,
it will be labeled. It will definitely be labeled. I don't think we would have done this for 38 minutes on the dot right now.
Yep.
And not label it as the Ramble episode. Oh man. Oh god.
oh Jesus Christ!
You should play hockey with me, please.
I can barely walk on 2 feet. You expect me to skate?
Yes.
I can rollerblade, just not on like the inline ones. I can rollerblade on the ones that are like the set of like a car's wheels. Those I can do barely. I have yet to attempt actual rollerblading with proper rollerblades.
Come on, my dude. We can go ice skating one night. I'll teach you.
I mean, I'm always up to learn a new skill. It may come in handy one
What
day.
size shoe do you wear? Is it 11 and a half?
I want to say 10 and a half.
Damn.
Why?
Because if it was 11 and a half, I would have an excuse to buy new skates. And I'd be like, here, have my skates. I want to buy new ones anyway.
I mean, you could just say fuck it and buy new skates anyway.
I like to have purpose.
What if I go in there right now, burn them, and give you a reason to buy new skates?
Those skates were $350. Please don't.
Understandable.
Please don't.
This actually reminds me of the first time that I ever drank hardcore, air quotation marks. So the first quote unquote hard drink, air quotations again, that I drank was Fireball. And
Never had Fireball.
I'm one of those types of, or I was one of those types of drinkers that if I can't taste the alcohol, I will drink it like a fish drinking water. And I went through like half of a handle of it by myself. Woke up in the bathtub half naked with nothing but blue jeans and my socks on. And I woke up in my friend's house because he was the one that kidnapped me, and his sister was a bartender. and she's sitting at the table eating her cereal.
Is this gonna explode on me?
Probably.
No.
And she's sitting at
Yes.
so she's sitting at the table eating cereal, and I come out of the bathroom like all groggy-eyed and shit, and she starts laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing about? And she's like, I got something to show you. I'm like, oh no. So she pulls up her phone, and I gave this bitch a lap dance while I was shit-faced on fucking Fireball.
Oh my god, that reminds me of the time that Ethan gave me a half a handle of Jim Beam.
Oh no.
God, yeah.
Oh god,
I remember that night.
There is a audio clip out there of me just screaming, "I'm Catholic."
What?
So this requires more context.
Oh no.
Me and my buddy Ross, really Ross, it was all Ross, may have propagated a small fabrication that Mitchell's Jewish.
What?
Look at me.
Fair.
Just look at me.
But no, and this became a running gag for a long time because we were young and stupid, right?
But by the way, when I first met Ross, when I moved to Cedar Creek, and like I met him, within the first 3 seconds, and he goes, "Hey, Jew," and then that continued forever.
Yeah, by the time we graduated, so this was junior year of high school. By the time we graduated, approximately 90% of our graduating class knew about this story. Dryer knew about this story. About half of them knew it was a joke, and basically all the teachers thought he was Jewish.
It was so bad. Coach Brown, our senior year, first day of class, didn't really make the joke, but it was really heavily implied that it was a Jewish joke. And then the entire class just deadpan stopped and just turned around and stared at me. And Coach Brown, by the way, best teacher I've ever had in my life, just sat there and
Really? I thought he was kind of a jackass, but anyway.
he loved me. And this is
He did not love me.
This is probably the reason why. It was because he sat there and he had just about a heart attack, thinking that I was actually Jewish, and like, just like, I just offended this man. I am about to get fired.
And Mitch was like,
I
I'm
literally,
not Jewish, I'm Catholic.
no. I literally just raised my hand. I was like, "Don't worry, I'm not Jewish." And that man just like, the look on his face was just, why is everybody staring at you? I do not understand. It makes no sense. And then later on, he will continue making haphazard.
Well, and then he met Ross, and he figured out real quick what was going on.
Yeah. Then he would make haphazard Jew jokes, but not really Jew jokes. He'd be like, "Yeah, all these people, especially Mitchell's people, rule the country," and he's. Everybody thought he was making a Jew joke, and he's like, "No, white men with glasses."
No, fucking Coach Brown would have made a great college instructor, but yeah, I don't know how the fuck he didn't get fired.
He became
as a teacher, high school teacher.
The year after we graduated, he became an assistant principal at like.
Yeah, I heard that one. Did I ever tell you about how my mother almost got him in really serious trouble?
How so?
Okay, so
Because that man was constantly in serious trouble.
yeah, no joke. So one of the first times I had class with him, I was doing what I'm doing right now, and I was leaning back in the chair. But unlike this chair, which is designed to lean back, it was one of those, class chairs we had where you could lean back, but you're bringing the feet off the ground up front. Mm-hmm. Well, I was leaning back up against a wall because, those chairs were short and I have long legs. So I'd plant my feet and then just straighten up.
We went to a high school that had 2 seats per desk and wasn't the typical like American chiropractic. What chiropractic chair that you really easy to pop your back on? No, it wasn't those.
Yeah, no. Anyway, point is, we had these really funky chairs that were kind of short, and so if I planted my feet on the ground and then just kind of like pushed back a little bit, it wasn't like I was like pushing really hard back. It was literally I'd plant my feet and then just kind of like straighten my legs a little bit so my legs were comfortable, and I'd lean back a little bit, and I found that to be really comfortable. So Coach Brown, he'd look over and he'd see me, and my back was to a wall, so I didn't really think much of it because I had my head leaning back against the wall. He'd be like, "Hey, sit down," and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, right, sorry." And again, I wasn't really thinking about it. It was just that's what was comfortable. So I did it. And then I ended up leaning back again, and he was like, "Hey, told you not to do that." And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, no, sorry." Sat back again. And again, like a few minutes later, I was uncomfortable, so I did it again. And he was like, "Hey, Phil, stand up." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Weird, but whatever. So I stood up because I thought he wanted me to like present something. And then nothing happened, and he went on teaching. So I sat back down. And he was like, "I didn't say you could sit." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, stand back up." And I was like, "Well, this is stupid." And then I think he like took my chair from me because I kept sitting back down. And I went home and I told my mother about this, and I was like, "This is stupid." Like,
what a man!
Oh man, look at them arms.
Look at them arms.
Yeah, I know farmer's tan.
But I was like,
do you want me to open up the window at all? I can open up the window, let cold air in.
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
But I went home and I talked to my mother, veteran high school teacher, and I was like, "What is up with this? This is stupid, right?" And she was like, "Wait a minute. He wouldn't let you sit down in the middle of class?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Interesting." Ended up turning into a fucking meeting with the principal and my mother.
Oh, shit.
Because what he was doing as a coach, if this had been an athletics class, yeah, all right, a little bit of, capital punishment. That's fine. This was not an athletics class. I was not one of his athletes. He had no right to do that to me. And my mother was like, "You're going to talk to him or I'm going to talk to him. And if I talk to him, you're going to lose a fucking teacher." And they were like, "Yes, ma'am." Because my mother had a history of basically being like, "You've infringed upon the right of my child as a student." I'm going to fucking have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Matthew, would you care to comment as someone who is a student of my mother?
Yeah, no, that's pretty fucking accurate. I actually have a funny story about your mother's class. I actually plagiarized an entire paper on JFK in her class.
Did you get away with it?
Bro!
I got an 88 on it. I just didn't feel like doing it, and it was the last week it was due, and I was like, "Fuck it." So like I spent the entire
Hey Matthew, you know my mother listens to these, right?
I know.
There is no legal ramification for it now.
She probably still has that fucking paper somewhere,
Right?
right?
Fucking leave.
Oh my
No,
god,
like,
that's amazing.
did I ever-
It wasn't out of like malicious intent or anything. I just genuinely did not feel like doing it, so I just copied and pasted a bunch of shit. And I was like, "Cool, if I fail, I fail. I don't really care," because I was just having a really bad month. Like my girlfriend just broke up with me. I wasn't caring about anything. Threw it together, turned it in, got an 88, and I was like, "All right, whatever. I'm just gonna."
Clearly, you plagiarized from enough different sources that it didn't raise any red
I
flags.
guess so.
Clearly, it was stupid enough that my mother thought you wrote it.
Professionals have standards. Did I ever tell you? Because I think I by far had the most wild Coach Brown class because we had Laura in ours,
Oh god.
and not only that, we had I forget what his name is. I almost want to say Jacob or something, but he was okay with being just like the person to be picked on. He had
Are you talking about Jared?
no
The guy who had like narcolepsy?
No. But he was in that class, yes. He actually didn't mess with Jared because he understood that Jared had narcolepsy. And like he just couldn't control just passing out in class.
Yeah, actually, I think technically he had like clinical insomnia, I think is what it was, which is why you would just pass out randomly.
Yeah.
But anyway, point is.
But this one person, he actually had a cup full of names, and he took out half the students' names and the other half is just one person because he just hated him that much. But no, he's literally flipped my table in the classroom.
What, Brown did?
Yes. So I remember the football kicker, like Kalen or
You
something.
think I remember any of the fucking footballers?
It was
Oh, it was the girl. Yeah. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
she was my table partner.
Katrina? No, fucking yeah. She had kind of an unusual name.
Yeah.
It was like a play on a really common name. But anyway.
But she was my table partner because we had 2 seats to the table.
Right.
And was just pissing him off for some reason. And so he walked up to my table and asked, "Mitchell, please remove your stuff from the table in a very calm manner. and I was like, okay. Then I asked her, and just went, whoop. Just like table right on top of her.
Fuck this table in particular.
And I went, huh. Okay. I guess that happened. Him being a coach, that's his
Athlete.
Tiny pee-pee.
I know, very tiny pee-pee outside.
There's a crotch rocket repping outside. That's why we're commenting on pee-pee.
So I was just like, oh my god. I love this man. This should have been my teacher.
Was that the girl? Like everybody like referred to as like the horse girl because she also did like equestrian activities.
Yes.
So funny story about her. Ooh,
okay.
Funny story about her. She and I were in Gifted and Talented back in intermediate middle school.
Yeah, smart autism.
Smart autism. I love it.
So, funny story about that. Back in 5th grade,
I was also in Gifted and Talented in middle school.
I kind of figured. There's a reason we're friends. Matthew, shut up. Only the gifted and talented get to speak at this table.
No, I never went to class because I used that class as my second robotics class.
Yeah, there you go.
No, anyway, back in 5th grade, that was like the first time we got it as like an actual dedicated class because that was the first time we had like periods and different teachers and things like that. Well, I was a fucking menace. And, I'm trying to remember what happened exactly because that was a long fucking time ago. That was 20 years ago now. Okay, not quite that long, but close enough.
Getting there.
15.
Remember, I mean,
Oh no, that's what it was.
Philip,
she was.
We've officially known each other for 11 years now.
Oh God, we're so old. Please stop talking. Not that old. No.
I am.
No,
now,
that's right. She was picking on me. That's what it was.
I am now 28.
Hey, I'm gonna be 29 this
By the
year.
way, happy late birthday.
Thanks, bud.
I'm holding up the tradition of high school of never getting your birthday right.
I mean,
No, dude, that was another Ross thing. Every day was Mitchell's birthday except for Mitchell's birthday.
No, that was a Daniel thing. Every day was counted as my birthday.
What the fuck?
Except my birthday.
Oh yeah, and then Ross picked up on it too and made sure everybody fucking did it.
And everybody's like, every once in a while, the people who didn't know would just be like,
Was
"It's your
Ross
birthday?"
a fucking menace to society?
No, Ross and Daniel were both menace to society because love Daniel to death. He doesn't. He claims innocence. That man literally made me bleed in English class every day because he would cut the top of my hand with a comb. But it was like, and not a soft comb. It was a really hard comb that was really sharp. And like, whap!
One of them truly unbreakable combs.
And then he would get mad at me for stabbing him.
Bro, you just stabbed me with a comb. Of course I'm gonna stab you back.
Anyway, back on topic. So, oh no, that's what it was. Is like we would bicker constantly, and like she'd do some shit to me, I'd do some shit to her, back and forth, and like it was causing a problem. It caused so much of a problem that the fucking counselor and one of the VPs or APs or whatever the fuck they call assistant principals had to sit down with me outside of class with like, I think my mother was there, and be like, hey, so you're reaching an age and you know maybe it's hard for you two to like express your emotions for each other, but have you considered that like, you know, maybe you and her feel something for each other, and like maybe she likes you? And I laughed in that person's face. I don't remember who the fuck it was, but I straight up laughed in their face, and I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No, I just like messing with her. And they were like, And now thinking back on it, I'm like,
I probably did.
Man, that probably was like how it was, but yeah, no, I did not feel anything for her. I was the kind of menace to society that once I figured out that I was doing something that was fucking with someone and they were reciprocating, I was like, oh yeah, it's fucking go time.
Yeah.
So, actually, another funny story about the class I had with your mom, because I had a pre-AP class because I figured I'd try
Pre-AP
it.
World, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm the only person part of this podcast that has not had your mom as a teacher.
I haven't either. I never had my mother as an
Okay,
instructor.
let's be honest. Teacher of life.
Yeah, that's fair.
Your mom.
I I just could not comprehend this like what she was teaching us, not because like it was being conveyed in a bad manner, but just because I just
it's 'cause
couldn't
stupid.
there's that too. There's that too. I just couldn't wrap my head around everything enough and be able to like formulate like decent responses about things other than being just like bare minimum.
Yeah, because my mom, she truly did teach that class.
No,
like
she
a
100%
pre-AP
did.
class.
Yeah,
Was
she
she an
100%
AP
did.
U.S. history teacher?
No, she never touched A push. She taught pre-AP World, AP Economics, and then no, she did. She had to teach regular U.S. history up at Hutto, and then she also taught AP European history, I think, at one point.
I would have loved that class.
Oh yeah, no, it would have been incredibly interesting. But anyway, no, her pre-AP class, she taught it like a pre-AP class.
Yeah.
So you did Diffie Qs.
Yeah.
Does that bring back nightmares, Matthew?
I mean, I did enjoy it. I just potato brain.
Yeah, no, and like her tests, they'd be like 50
Differential.
question monster. Yeah, not differential equations. Oh no, that wasn't Diffie Q. It's fucking
FAQ.
no, it's a specific format of essay writing that AP fucking loves. It's like
I don't remember what it's called.
DBQ.
DBQ.
Yeah, there we go.
DBQ. Yeah, because no, you're right. Diffie Q is differential equations.
That's the reason why that I am not a meteorologist.
It's the reason. Calculus 2 is the reason I'm not an engineer.
Mine was actually just calculus 1.
So no, that's the funny thing. I could do the math. It's that they wanted me to fucking memorize this entire goddamn table of variable responses, and I was like, fuck that bullshit! So I took it 6 times before I figured out that I couldn't fucking do it.
No. No.
But anyway, no. Back on topic though. Yeah, no, she like made y'all write DBQs.
Yeah.
She made y'all write long format essays.
Yeah.
She made y'all do quotations and cite your sources and things like that.
Yep.
She taught that class like it was an AP class, just without the AP exam. And yeah, no, a lot of students, especially sophomores, because that's what the class was taught.
Yeah.
A lot of sophomores fucking hated her class. Except for the students who actually understood it. And then they went and had Kelly the next year, and they were like, holy shit, oh my God, we are so glad we were prepared for this.
Yeah.
And then there was Jacob. Oh my God, Jacob has nothing but bad things to say about Kelly, and like I kind of agree with him. She was kind of a shit teacher by the time I got to her.
didn't have Kelly, thankfully.
No, Kelly was... By the time I got to her class... So Kelly, when she had the block period, was apparently amazing. A truly gifted instructor. Mm-hmm. By the time I got to her, they'd done away with her block, so now it was crammed down to just a standard class length.
Yeah.
And they'd also, what do you call it? So she decided that she didn't want to teach that anymore and was moving for her counseling license. And so she was like, cool. The semester I had her was the last semester she was going to be teaching.
Oh.
So she was like, cool. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And I was like, if I wanted to be treated like an idiot, or if I wanted to have a lackluster instructor, I would have stayed over at fucking Cedar Creek. Because the big issue with Cedar Creek is a lot of the instructors were really good people. Mm-hmm. The issue is that Bastrop ISD decided that they could literally take any instructor that walked in off the street, any teacher, hand them an AP course book, and be like, yeah, here's your entire curriculum, here's your teaching structure, here's what you're supposed to be doing every day, and like, yeah, you'll be fine, go.
That's not how that works.
No, it is not.
That's not how that works.
In AP training for teachers, they tell you will not be worth a fuck until you have hit your 3rd year. Until you've gone through this at least 3 years. Until then, your all of your test rates are going to be absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Which my mother actually wasn't not that bad off. She was actually pretty decent.
Oh no, she was great.
Yeah, they tell you that you need to have at least 3 years of teaching experience to start teaching AP, and then your first 3 years of AP are basically like don't worry about it. Like your actual responses don't really matter.
Yeah.
Or not statistics. The statistics don't really matter because until your 3rd year, you're not actually like you don't have enough experience to know what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
And what's gonna work.
I only passed her class because I had a buddy of mine that was right beside me, and he would tutor me when she would just
Robin?
let us do our. His name was Justin. I don't remember his last name, but his name was Justin.
Yeah.
Super intelligent guy.
Also, feel free not to list people's last names.
Yeah.
Dox the shit out of them.
I thought about it as I was saying it. I was like, never mind, stop, Matt. But yeah, no, I only passed her class by the skin of my teeth because he would like tutor me a little more and be like, hey, try to change your wording on this a little bit. Add, try to add in more of this idea, talk a little more about this. Back off on this. That's the only reason why I passed her class.
Yeah. No, my mother was a strict teacher, but like she knew her shit. And if you were willing to work with her, she was willing to work with you.
There was an unsung hero of a teacher at Cedar Creek, and I think you know who I'm talking about.
Miss Rage?
No,
We loved Rage.
we love Miss Rage, but Mr. Euler,
Oh, God!
because we didn't call it Mr. Euler.
He was fucking crazy.
We didn't
I
call.
loved him.
We never called Mr. Euler. We called him Master Euler.
What the fuck?
Dude, old ass white guy. Like
2 master's degrees in like aero engineering and chemical engineering.
The fuck's he doing teaching?
We all think that he was actually
not giving a fuck.
we all really thought he was actually part of like the witness protection program. Like the way he acted, this is like, because he would. One day he just made a joke and was like, "Yeah, I can't do any of that. I'm part of the witness protectors program." Just out of the blue, and this would say the most offhand stuff in class. He'd just be sitting there, going da 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 da, lecture, and then just stop. Where were you when JFK got shot?
What the fuck?
Like, what?
I wasn't even a thought at that point, man.
What?
Like
I wasn't even a fucking sperm cell yet,
one
man.
of my parents was still learning how to walk. Like what?
Yeah, and there
He was shot in 63 or 64.
yeah, something like that.
Anyway,
He would also go around and like as we're all doing our labs, and this is like a 73-year-old man, okay, who clearly way past retirement and just is teaching because he's bored, and he would just be listening to the music that we're all listening to. He goes like, funky grooves. Like, what the hell?
That reminds me of Mr.
This is
Harper.
Kesha.
That reminds me of Mr. Harper,
oh
physics
no,
teacher.
no, I've heard the stories about Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not even close.
No.
This is all said with the most monotone voice ever. You know how like in
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
yes,
English.
and it would just go Euler,
You are. Yeah.
Bueller. That's exactly how
Yeah,
Mr. Euler talked.
completely monotone the same time. And if you did something stupid, he found 9 new ways to rip you a new asshole without technically ever stepping over the line, but treading real close so that everybody in the classroom's like, "Can he get away? Can
Honestly,
he say that?"
honestly,
I don't know.
one of my favorite teachers of all time.
Yeah, he's one of those teachers that if you were a shit student, he fucking let you know it, and you were like, "Oh man, like I don't want to be here anymore." But if you like just if you literally put in the bare minimum effort required, he was
Yeah.
like, "All right, well, you and I can at least get along."
Yeah.
I took a forensics class my freshman year, and the whole class like stared at the teacher when she said this because like her sister had cancer, and she was like always in a fucking mood, and her son was the corps commander of ROTC at the time, so she was kind of like she had herself up here on a pedestal that she put herself on, and she
was she a Dependa without being a Dependa?
maybe just out of the blue she was ranting one day.
Thank you, angry cops, for your word language.
She was ranting one day, and she's like, "Do you guys know that I have the town whore in one of my classes?" And I was like, "What?
You can't say that."
Yeah, I was like, excuse me? Tell me who it is, by the way.
Like knowing
I need to do.
the
I need this
school, that
for
might
like.
have been true, but like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I need this for research purposes.
Did I ever tell you about the only high school fight I ever actually witnessed was at the school we went to, Matthew?
Really?
Yeah, and it was a cat fight over a baby daddy.
I think I know who you're talking about.
But yeah,
I
I
think
just
you're talking
walked
about.
outside. I walked outside next to the library to get to one of the classes, and here are these 2 girls just ripping hair out. One of them was fucking out here pregnant. And yeah, no, it was. I ran inside the library and I was like, Miss, there's fighting outside. And she's like, what? And I literally point out the door that they're fighting at because you could see it from the library. And I was
Yeah.
like, right there. And she
Yeah.
was like, she had to stick her head around a bookcase to see it. And she was like, holy shit.
Speaking of the librarian, I loved that librarian so much. Like, I didn't go there to like read. I go there to chill and relax and like do paperwork. But I loved our librarian
Yeah,
so
it was
much.
also great because she was like, because the last 2 librarians had to be brought out in handcuffs for touching minors.
I remember that too.
Yeah, not the last one, the last 2. 2 of them. And then there was that other guy in the math department.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, she would like order like anime and manga. Fucking Matthew. She would order manga, like whole sets of manga for the library.
You want to tell the story about the time you accidentally ordered porn for the library?
Oh Jesus!
No. So what it was is Mitchell was a library aide our senior year. And him and the librarian were really tight because we had this whole group of friends that were also friends with her kid. But anyway,
I also used to live a block away from her.
Yeah.
Which I never knew, but she was like, yeah, I live on this street. I was like, what? Where? I used to live on that street. And, she was like, yeah, no, right here. I was like, I lived right here and here. And she just went, what? That house? This is the whole entire thing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, anyway. Oh, Jesus. Excuse me. Sorry. So he was like, yeah, you should order. And she didn't know very much about manga.
Right.
So, but a lot of people were asking for it because it was becoming really popular. And so she went to Mitchell and she was like, hey, Mitchell, what should I order? And Mitchell was like, oh, you should order this one called Spice and Wolf because it is very entertaining and it's very good, but it's also kind of educational because it's got a lot of really interesting things about economics in it and trade and things like that.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely true. And so the librarian ordered a bunch of them. She was like, yeah, this is great. One thing about Spice and Wolf is it's set in a historical fantasy setting.
Right.
So there is a little bit of nudity in it because it's like,
Did you have to watch...
it's Japanese and nudity is a little more common and accepted in their literature.
Right.
And being a medieval setting, nudity was just a little more common. And so, yeah, in the first volume, there's like whole ass titties. I don't think there's nipple in it.
Oh, there's nipple.
Oh, there is nipple?
Yeah, that's the reason why I was panicking.
Yeah, there's whole ass nipple in it. And the librarian finds out about this and she's like, Mitchell. And basically what it boiled down to was, okay, how likely is literally anybody besides the librarian and people who know the librarian likely to open this book and make a stink about this? And what it came down to was nobody. So we're not going to worry about it.
Because the people who are reading Spice and Wolf, they definitely seen hentai before.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Not to mention, most of the people who were reading manga anyway were close friends with the librarian.
Yeah.
And so they would have told the librarian rather than fucking rat her out to someone. And
Yeah.
so it basically just became a non-issue. And the other thing about it is that, I don't know if you knew this or if the librarian knew this, but there was another series there called Emma. And it was a
you told me about
period
this, yeah.
piece. Yeah, it was a period piece about a maid in Victorian England. I thought it was amazing. It was one of my first introductions to just like hard romance and period drama. And I fucking loved this thing. I love that story.
My first manga ever was Tsubasa.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's Clamp, right?
What?
Isn't that written by the artist group Clamp?
Oh,
Tsubasa?
maybe.
I think they're going. I remember reading something about Clamp going back to one of their older stories that they didn't finish. It might have been Tsubasa. Anyway, so yeah.
You okay, bud?
Yeah, I was burping a lot.
Since it was a period drama, no one fucking touched this thing. Mm-hmm. But I cleared house on the manga section.
Yeah.
I read fucking everything. And except for they had one there that was like from like the 80s and it didn't make any fucking sense, so I just didn't read it.
There was this one, and we only had one book of it, and the first chapter was 9/11.
Oh Jesus!
What is this? Why don't we have more of it?
Anyway,
it was honestly just really weird.
Yeah. We also had some Dead Man Wonderland, which was fucking wild. But anyway, Emma, in it, it's supposed to be this Victorian woman, Victorian maid, right?
Right.
In England. And it was a really interesting and compelling story. Volume 5, I want to say. So you had to be really investigated to this part.
Yeah.
Volume 5 comes along, and yeah, there is like a whole scene where she is acting as a chambermaid for a lady. Emma was the titular character. Emma is acting as a chambermaid for a Victorian lady, and yeah, no, like she's helping the woman dress, and the woman's like lounging about because she's rich and has shitloads of money and doesn't have anything to do with her time. And yeah, no, she is like just whole ass titties
buck
out,
naked,
buck naked. And like
a
she's
high
wearing a
schooler.
robe, but like it's one of those super thin gossamer robes, and so it's not hiding anything. And so
Yeah.
there's a few pages of this, and like there's also this very much like sexual undertone between Emma and the lady and things like that, the lady that she's serving. And yeah, no, like it's very much something that really is only truly appreciated by a more adult reader.
Was this your
but-
foray into smut?
No, that came long before that. But anyway, like I said, this was a romance piece, and that was just the lady wasn't a romantic interest. It was just where the character was at in the story,
Right.
and it was just the setting of it at the time, and it was used. I'm gonna forget now, but there was a reason for it, artistically speaking. Now looking back on it, but yeah, at the time I was like, 16, and I was like, ooh, titties.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny because Spice and Wolf has like a couple scenes of it that is like not sexual at all, and in this one there was very much sexual undertones. And I went like, "Hey, Miss Long, just a heads up. Here's the story section." She was like, "God, Mitchell," and then it was like, "No, this was here before you and Mitchell," and she was like, "Oh, okay."
Can't blame me for everything.
And then I was like, "Yeah, so like, can you get the rest of the series?" And she was like, "I'll see what I can do." Because it was really good, and I ended up finishing reading it online, and yeah, it was
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I completely redid that entire manga section. Yeah. I left an impact.
Were you the reason we ended up with Dead Man Wonderland?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm still amazed you managed to slip that one by her.
Yeah.
Because that one is like horribly graphic.
Yeah.
Do you know what Dead Man Wonderland is?
I've heard of it. I know nothing
Okay,
about
so
it.
basically, it's kind of like what's
Squid Games?
no hang on. What's the manga / anime? It's one of the classic mech ones. It's not Gundam though.
Genesis?
Yes, Neon Genesis Evangelion. So you know the whole premise of there is like this cataclysmic event happens and it changes the world.
Right.
So Dead Man Wonderland, similar thing. Cataclysmic event happens and all of a sudden people start having these really weird abilities that revolve around blood. A lot of them end up committing very heinous crimes. And so they're all sent to this prison. This prison is run as an entertainment for normal civilians. So think Death Race.
Okay.
Kind of like along those lines. Except if you lose the games, you fucking die. And
So, Squid Games.
The main character... Actually, yeah, I guess it would be kind of like Squid Games. The point is that it's not like you're trying to win the games. The point is that everyone else gets to revel in your suffering. The main character is a high school student who is targeted by some other entity, some other character that has just obscene abilities. He is given an ability by this character, and then this character massacres his entire fucking classroom with the ability that she gives him, leaves him as the only survivor, and then pins the entire thing on him so that she can get away with mass murder.
What the fuck?
So then he is basically kangaroo courted because they find out he has this one of these blood-based abilities.
Yeah.
And again, they're looked down on in society, so he is kangaroo courted and sentenced to Dead Man Wonderland, the prison carnival thing. And the entire story is just him trying to fucking survive, and it is horribly graphic, and a bunch of really fucked up shit happens to him.
Honestly, a really good anime.
Yeah, it's good, but like, yeah, if you don't like, I've had too many bubbles tonight. If you don't like gore or anything like that, or really tragic stories, because this is definitely a tragedy in the truest sense of the Greek term. Like, fucked up shit happens to this kid for no other reason than that everybody either assumes he's a massive piece of shit, or because he's forced to associate with truly horrendous people.
Shit, I may actually be down to read that.
Yeah, it's really good, but it's really fucked up.
Well, we've been rambling for, and what, 1:15 some change? Yep.
An hour and a quarter. Well, I think we got all the ramble out of our system.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
It was a good ramble, though.
Yeah. Some good fucking ramble, if I do say so myself. Best
Yeah.
ramble ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
I'm the best rambler of all time.
All I'm going to say is you haven't heard Mitchell and Jacob go at it about fucking Godzilla.
I've heard a
You've
little
heard
bit.
stories
Yeah, I've
of
heard
it,
stories
but
of
until
that.
you've heard it, you ain't heard rambling. Because holy shit, that was back when we had one microphone and they were screeching at each other. It was scary. I was on the sidelines the entire time and I was scared.
Was it because we're saying
I
that
don't
Godzilla
fucking
was
remember.
a bad guy, or is this one particular?
No, y'all were debating about the different monsters and which one was like more powerful or shit like that.
It was if this particular monster was a good guy or a bad guy, but it's honestly Godzilla's biggest ally other than Mothra.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, let's go ahead and call it here. Let's get on to the episode. Thank you all for joining us for this hour and a quarter. Hey, we're now at an hour 15 flat.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us on this ramble. We will see you again in the main episode.